Hey guys, welcome back to part 2, and this is part 2 of my how to blend skin tone tutorial on opaque blending of skin tones, and this is the painting that I painted up. Let's recap what we've done so far. And now, let's go ahead and show you what we're heading towards. Alright guys, I may have been messing with you just a little bit the way I laid this picture out. The worst possible way for it to look as we were laying these colors in. I kind of picked this picture because I knew there was such a stark and stunning difference. But the reason I did that is so that you could understand how much your eyes get messed with as colors go around things, how much different things can look, and how it changes the appearance of things. And I wanted you to be able to see that. There are ways you can combat that. As you know, as you'll see here in a second, I'm going to actually mask off these lips with a stencil so that I've got just pure white around it, and you'll see how much easier it is to see the colors when you have something else around it besides, having to worry about what colors are around it. Now I went ahead and covered these lips. I mixed up the not the highlight color, but the lightest pink color, which actually is this right here. Or the second lightest, I should say, because your highlight color is your lightest pink color. And we're going to work on those lips. I put them in isolation now. One, to have a little bit of room so I don't get overspray on everything else. And two, this is going to make it a little bit easier for you guys to see and not get messed with your head. So I'm taking the same steps with these lips basically as I am with those skin tones. I'm going to use 3 colors of these pink tones, and I'm going to go in here and just do my little bit of texture with my airbrush. So I brought in that first tone that we talked about, and then I'm going to come in with that second tone, the darker color, second darker color. And we'll putting those lips in there, putting those little creases in there. Notice where I laid off and left that really light pink showing in places for my highlights, because I'm not coming back with any highlight colors. Way to mixing the darkest color for the lips, I actually came up with a brown color while I was working. I was like, that'll work really good in the nostrils, so I went ahead and threw that in there. Actually needs to be just a little bit darker than this, but I threw that in there, and it just helps bring that picture to life, make it easier to see. And I touched up the spots. As you can see, I added some darker spots in the nose. There is the darkest color I'm spraying out right there that I'm going to use on those lips, and we're going to spray that in there. All right, so I've got my darker mix in here. I have put a little reducer in it this time. It might be just a little bit too much on the red side, but that's okay. So I'll just go in and put my darkest shadow tones in here and run across their lips. And then you'll notice I'm going to take that lip and extend that darkest color all the way out towards the smile line. And then I'll actually use that same color to add that little bit of shadow that comes off of that dimple right there, and that's going to give me that shadow that I need. And it's just like anything else, it's just a question of paying attention. Is your edge hard? Is your edge soft? How far out does it blend? How far down does it come? And those are questions you should always be asking yourself. And then I'll probably trace around the lips just a little bit, just to take out that sterile from the paper. Still have more colors put in here, but I've gotten tired of looking at this bare head, and I'm going to go ahead and just put these eyebrows in here. That color I have mixed in here is really, really dark brown. It's actually not black. It probably looks black on your screen. Just going to throw these eyebrows in there, and then I'm going to throw the eyelashes in there. I'm not going to detail that out a whole lot. or show every detail that I'm using to create those, because, well, that's really not part of blending skin tones. And you'll see that I'm using this darker mix just a little bit to work on that line, crease line that comes in underneath. Look at this, just adding the lips, lashes, and brows. All right, guys, that was another example of how stark the difference is just by continuing to add our darks. At no point did I come back and lighten anything in this, but if you recall from the beginning, and that's why I'm throwing these pictures up, how dark that tone when I first started laying this first shadow tone in here looked, because I didn't have the secondary shadow tones and then the darker background colors in there. Once again, like before, and as I keep mentioning over and over again, as you darken your colors, as your colors get darker, you're going to be doing less and less work. So we're getting into highlighting that color right there. See how light that is. It's actually a very light purple-ish cast tone, and I'm using that same color. I just, for the highlight under, or the shadow underneath the eye, I just went very, very light with it. I could have reached total saturation and it would have created a little bit darker than what I needed it to be. Notice I worked on that eye lid again, adding a little bit more color there. Then I'm running those wrinkle lines just a little bit out with that same purplish color, and then blending it in for that socket. As you see, I was blending it in. Now, of course, I used a shield here for that break in the nose. And the way that breaks, I want you to, if you pay attention to that, if you look at it, it breaks from a sharp, crisp definition on the nose and starts to blend gently up into the forehead, because the forehead is closer to you. Let's go ahead and get that neck. I want to hold this shield off, so I want it to be a fuzzy line, but I still want it to define that edge. It'll make a huge difference when I darken in this color in here. And that color that comes off of that neck is also the same color that is on the very edges of the darkest shadow tone. And then I'm going to use that shadow tone. You'll notice I will use that shadow tone around the outside edges of what I was just talking about. Then you'll catch me using it around the smile lines, possibly right up under the cheek. Notice that shadow runs off of that chin just a little bit. Of course, using a shield where I need to. And then notice I'm using that dark color to blend in those lips just a little bit. And that takes away that sterile look, that I was talking about earlier, that sterile look that's left over from where I used a shield or that paper stencil around there. We don't want that stencil-y look coming in here and touching all our minor details. Can't forget this dark spot here that I was talking about. These small details will make the difference between whether your painting looks realistic or if it looks airbrushed. As you'll notice, I did no work with an eraser, anything like that throughout this entire painting, or any even highlighting back in. Now we just need to blend in a couple of colors here and touch a couple of things up, and then we'll darken in this outside and get the final look. Now I'm going to go in here and clean up the overspray, and that's where the overspray, the lighter colors, got on top of the darker colors from the background. And you'll notice that when we clean this up, what a difference it actually makes in the picture. All right, guys, I hope you got something out of this video, and I hope you appreciate it. If you guys got something out of this video, please give me a thumbs up. Hey, for those of you that are unaware, you may have noticed that I've started putting a link to a kit page. It's called kit.co/wleonartistry, and that is my shopping guides. Instead of posting affiliate links down in the description below, I'm now posting a link to my kit page. And what that kit page allows, it allows me to start putting out all of the different products that I use, that I recommend, and I'll have them listed on my kit page. And you can go through and everything will be sorted and organized. So why don't you stop by, hit my kit page, go check it out. You'll see some of the products I use, and tell me if you think that looks organized too, and if it's easy to find through. Also, it should be noted that those links are now international links. So if you are in the UK, you're in Australia, you are in or the United States or Germany or France or Italy, when you click that link, it's going to take you to your local by country shopping so that you can, be on a native shopping ad. You don't have to go to an American page and then, have to go switch back. But anyway, guys, we appreciate y'all stopping by here. Once again, I'm Bill Kennedy with W. Leon Artistry, and we appreciate y'all stopping by. Anyway, y'all have a good one. Bye.